Hi guys, welcome to Make With Me Monday. My name is Robyn Smith. It's Monday, so it's time to make something with me. Oh my god, I'm looking for the seam. Hold on. There it is, found it. So today we are gonna be making we're gonna be piping some Wonder Bar flowers. Ooh, cute. I have these, hold on. I have these green cupcakes, cupcake bath bombs that I made. And then I wanted to pipe on top. We could pipe some leaves and some little flowers on top out of Wonder Bar. Yeah, what do we think? Yeah, so let's get started. So normally I like to do my Wonder Bar master batch, but I didn't have any master batch today, so instead we're gonna make it. That's what that means. So I have all my powder ingredients here, and I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna give those a quick stir, and then I'm gonna add my liquid ingredients. Whew. Yeah, it's really hot here today. I'm like sweating. Kiana says, yo, yo, yo. Would it be Kay? Or do we call you Kiki? Seems like Kiki's a cuter name, but I'm not gonna decide that for you. Last night, I listened to a lot of true crime. Do you guys listen to true crime at all? Okay, well, last night I listened to, I listened to this thing about Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka, which I already knew their story, but I listened to it again, and I had nightmares about Carla, not about Paul. She's a scarier one. If you don't know the story, like, just don't do that to yourself. Don't. If you do know the story, then I'm sorry. That's what I had nightmares about last night. So yeah, so that's just a little bit of, kind of how my day's going. So I woke up late today because I was like, I could not like get rest last night. Carla Homolka was just in my dreams all night with their Canadian killer fantasies. Anyway, I'll get off that topic. Wonder Bar. Here's the thing about these. So I want to talk about these. So this is, can you see that these are discolored? So I love the way these smell, but this is a fragrance that has like some strong discoloration with it. So I'm not gonna, which I knew it would do that, it's just fine. That's one of the reasons I chose green, because green can kind of handle that. It doesn't look too bad. But I don't want to do the Bubble Bar on top with a discoloring fragrance oil. Now, Bubble Bar doesn't like discolor as bad usually, but it still can discolor, and I don't want my flowers on top to be looking like janky. So we're going to, I used a different fragrance for the top. So if you have a discoloring fragrance oil, number one, and you want to mask it, you can put it in like a green or a blue. Those tend to hide discoloration pretty well. And then if you're trying to add piping to it, like frosting, somebody did meringues, and they were asking, not meringues, macaroons, and they're asking like what color should they make the frosting to go between the macaroons. And there was a lot of great suggestions, but so I was like, oh, that's a good thing to hit on today while I'm talking about this. And so I'm just using a fragrance that complements the one that's already in it pretty well. So if you've never worked with Wonder Bar, what have you been doing all your life? Oh my god. If you've never worked with Wonder Bar, we add a processing agent to get it to the right texture. So our weight can be pressed. I'm terrible at this every time. Okay. It can be pressed, scooped, rolled, or piped. Did it. And we get it to the different textures by adding rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to start adding rubbing alcohol to it, and we're going to piping texture, which is the most rubbing alcohol that you'll add. For me, it tends to be around 150 to 100. I don't know. I can't remember because I never weigh it. Or I only weigh it for y'all. But I'm going to weigh it today for you guys. Okay? Excuse me. Oh my god. I'll weigh it for you guys so we can see. But if you're like, feel like you're just having to add just tons and tons, and you live in a dry environment, some of the people who live in dry areas have said that just adding like 5 extra grams of glycerin helps them not have to add like quite so much of the rubbing alcohol. Or you can switch the cocoa butter for a liquid oil. I tried that. It wasn't super successful for me, but I live in a humid environment, so it wasn't a great option for me. But some of our dry weather people have reported that they have great success with that. There's your daily Borat. You're welcome. Yeah, so I'm just gonna start adding the rubbing alcohol to it. As we go through the different textures, you'll see that we have videos on this on our YouTube, right? You guys have seen that. I know you guys have been asking for more YouTube videos. I have some like in my queue to edit. I just haven't edited them because we always have something else going on in the works, but usually not this many things. So maybe by the end of this week we'll be able to announce what this next thing is. But that'll keep me occupied through May. Not like every second of my day. I may be able to squeeze in like a video in there, but I do need to like buckle down because I have a deadline now. Which I typically don't like deadlines because I was a freelance artist for way too long. Like, I just don't do deadlines, you know? Nectaria says, what's up? What's up, homie? Home fry? Pardon me. My allergies are acting up because it's, I don't know. It was 30 degrees. I had to cover. For all of you who are like dealing with snow still, just this, I understand that this is privilege, and I'm sorry, but I'm still gonna go there, okay? I had to cover my plumeria, which I had already put in the ground, and I had to bring my monsteras back inside because it was 33 degrees and we were dancing very close to a freeze, and now it's like 85 outside. So this texture right here that we're at is, to me, like perfect pressing texture. It's kind of holding together in a big lump. It's not sticking to my glove. That to me is perfect pressing texture. I also kind of like to scoop right there too. Just kind of depends. It probably benefits from just being slightly wetter when you're scooping to get those really nice like ruffled edges. But if it's too wet when you're scooping, you'll just get like, if there's a word for that, I don't know what it is, but you know what I mean when I say it. It'll be like, right? Okay. So right there, that's also pressing texture. It just depends on what you want. What do you want? I guess I could have done pressing texture. We get asked about that a lot. But I love piping it, so I didn't think about it. Chris says, hola, Wonderbower, I love it. Marina Aaron says, hi. Hi, friend. Okay. So, in just a minute, we're getting close. We're getting close right now. This is probably like rollable. In just a minute, I'm going to split it. Even though we're not at piping texture yet, I'm going to split it kind of before I get there because I'm going to have to add more rubbing alcohol anyway once we get it to piping texture. So, you know. So first we're going to do the green because we're going to do our base. We're going to do like leaves and maybe vines. I don't know. We'll just have to see where the spirit leads us, you know. Okay, and I told you I would weigh my rubbing alcohol, so that was 119 grams to get me to this point. Now it's not all the way there, but that's what I'm saying, where it's like, okay, so 150 would probably get me well into that perfect piping texture. Now, a lot of people would try to pipe right here because we say like it should look like buttercream, and I don't think that this looks like buttercream at all. This looks like the cauliflower that they try to trick you and tell you is mashed potatoes, but you know good and well it's not even mashed potatoes. So we're not even at mashed potatoes really yet, because usually I'm like mashed potatoes bad. This is like cauliflower bad. Okay. So I'm not gonna split this completely because I don't need that much of it to be green. So I'm not even gonna measure it, to be honest. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I hope that's okay. If it's not, there's a delay. There's a lag, so I won't know until it's too late. Okay, so I'm gonna pull off most of this and set it aside because this will be like our different flower colors. And this right in here can be green. It's not a ton, but it's probably enough for all of those guys. Actually, it's probably more than enough for all those guys. And I normally use lakes, but I don't want, lakes can bleed, especially when you're piping with them. So I think I'm going to use a one of my green micas that's from TKB. That's certified for use in bath bombs. Hold on 1 second. So TKB has a few greens that you can use, and basically it's colored with Blue One. So it's like, it's a mica probably that they dusted with lakes, and so it can still bleed a little, but it's not going to be nearly as bad as like if I just did straight lake. So that's the thing. Anyway, that's what I'm going to use. So yeah, if you don't know, shouldn't use micas that have chromium green oxide or ultramarine blue in them. Not only do they make your bath bomb smell like a stink bomb, they're also, and at least in the U.S. I can't speak on, you know, international laws, but in the U.S., that's how we roll in the U.S. So, just saying. So yeah, so not only will it make it smell, they're just also not approved for use in cosmetics. Where the cosmetic is going to be, it's not certified to use on lips, okay? And so we have lips on our face and we have lips on our base, okay? None of those lips can use chromium green oxide or ultramarine blue, okay? We're good? Just had to put it out there. You're gonna remember it. I know, you're like, did she go there? I know, trust me, but you're gonna remember it. I'm gonna add a little bit more green to this. So this is like a really pretty like mint green. I want it to be maybe a little bit darker. I do have some darker greens that I could add to it if I end up wanting it to be a little bit darker. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this one, this Dublin green. It's a little bit darker, so I'm just gonna add like a smidge of it because I don't want it to make it too dark, but I do want to darken it up just a little bit. It's a little bit too light for me right now. Yeah, you guys appreciate that? Appreciate my humor? You're welcome. You'll remember it though. You won't forget that. Okay, and now I have piping bags. I'm going to use a leaf tip, and usually I don't use a coupler, but I am going to use a coupler this time because I want to possibly add little vines when I'm done. So if I use a coupler, that keeps me from having to switch bags and stuff later. So I don't know if that darker green made a difference or not. Whatever, I'm over it now. Okay, so can you see how beautiful and frosting like this is? When I go like this, I get like really pretty. It's beautiful. It makes really beautiful slopping sounds, like feeding the pigs. Suey. So that's what you want. Okay. Now we have like a whole, our OG boot camp or original boot camp. I did a whole bunch of like piping and stuff with that class, and I go way more detail on it. So if you want to know more about piping, we have like a whole thing that you can do about it, and I'll include a link to it. I'll also include a link to Wonderbar if you haven't. Have you heard of it? If you haven't heard of it, hello, where have you been? I'll definitely include a link to that at the top. Okay. Now, I don't want it to just goosh out the bottom, so it's not doing that, which is good. And it could probably be a little wetter, but it's okay. It's not gonna hurt nothing. Or it's also not gonna hurt anything. Now I'm gonna set this aside, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and mix my pinks. Should I? No, it seems like a mistake. Let's just go ahead and pipe this. Yeah? You guys are like, don't do that. That's a mistake. Okay, I agree. You're right. You go right here for a minute. Okay. So these little guys were made, a few days ago. They are at least 3 or 4 days old. I can't remember. They weren't made this weekend, so they're, a few days old, because you don't want the bath bomb to be too fresh. It'll react. And I'm just gonna lightly spray the tops with rubbing alcohol. You don't have to do that, but I feel like it maybe makes the frosting stick to it a little bit better. I don't think it makes like a huge difference, but it probably helps it stick a little bit better. I'm gonna pipe 3 leaves. And I can come back later if I want to put more leaves on it and vines and stuff like that. Okay, I'm actually going to set this down. But I'll pull this down so you can watch a little closer. But like, my hands are sweaty inside these gloves, okay? So, yeah, I'm using a leaf tip, which makes it really easy to get that really pretty looking leaf. And it looks like you're trying really hard, but it's like requires minimal effort. Which I'm into that. Yeah. I also thought about trying Russian piping tips today. I did them like a couple weeks ago. I tried them, I think on a live, and it didn't go, like, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't like amazing. Sorry, this bag's like really hard to hold right now. Should have picked maybe a slightly bigger bag. Anyway, it didn't go like terrible, but it didn't go like amazing. Well, so then the next day I tried Russian piping tips again, and I think I got much better results out of them. But to be really honest with you guys, tell me if it's just me, I'm just not like a huge fan of Russian piping tips. And yes, that was very southern of me, the way I said that. I'm not a huge fan of Russian piping tips. I'm just not, though. Okay? I don't know. I don't really like the little flowers that it makes. So maybe I just don't have like really pretty Russian piping tips. But even the ones that I've looked up like online, my technique here is really terrible, so don't use this as a lesson. But even the ones I've looked up on online, they just didn't like do it for me, you know? It just didn't like ring my bell, you know? So maybe Russian piping tips aren't for me. I don't know. You guys tell me. Are there like prettier Russian piping tips that I don't know about? Russian piping tips. Are there prettier ones? Y'all tell me, because I don't know. Okay. I'm going to scrape this out into a, I don't know, it's not a dump bucket. We affectionately have named the little bucket that we use whenever our bath bombs break as a dump bucket. So this isn't exactly a dump bucket, but it's kind of a dump bucket. I'm just going to scrape this off into here because I don't want this to go to waste. It could be used in something. Waste not, want not. That's what they always say. Okay. And then I'm going to just wipe this out. Now, one color flowers or two color flowers? That is the question. I feel like I already know the answer, so I don't know why I bothered asking. It's two colors, right? It's two colors. I'm right, right? I know I'm right. I don't even need y'all to tell me that I'm right. I know I'm right. I know that y'all are gonna say yes to two colors. Yeah. Yep, there it is. Lena says that hi. Lena says that there are tips that make snowflakes, and those are very pretty. Okay, well, I haven't seen those. So maybe I'll look for that. I don't know, just the times that I've looked at them, I don't know. Just didn't do it for me, you know? Okay, so here's this Wonder Bar. It's been sitting a minute. It's not really sticking to my glove. So like I said earlier, it's definitely gonna need some more rubbing alcohol in it. Why didn't I just split it from the beginning? I don't know. Doesn't make the, because the longer the mix sits together, the better it is. That's why. Did I just make that up? Yes, I did. So what? Okay, two colors. Pink and purple. Pink and purple and blue. I feel like pink and purple, can't go wrong with that. Am I right? Kind of can't go wrong with that. Nectaria, you said 3 colors? Well, technically it is 3 colors because I did the leaves first. Everybody loves a loophole. Okay, so am I gonna use lakes? I don't think I'm gonna use lakes either. I think I'm gonna use micas for this whole thing. So, I think I'm gonna use micas for this whole thing, and that's because, like we talked about, the bleeding thing, plus this is like so small. I don't know. I guess You know what? I'm gonna use lakes so I can show you that you can't. I'm gonna use okay. Rewind. Okay, go. You know why I'm gonna use micas? So I can show you that you can. That's why. Yeah, you're gonna love it. Purple and ooh, wait, jam session or purple vibrant? Okay, I'll pull those purples out. And then Rapture. I like jam session. I haven't used it in a while, so let's use jam session. I used purple vibrance last time. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the pink. And I'm just gonna add just a tiny little bit in there. Yay, look, you guys are agreeing with me that it's pink and purple is the way to go. Okay. Except Nectaria says pink and blue, but that's okay, I forgive you. Katie says that you're gonna need the link to the OG boot camp because you suck at piping. It's a good one for piping. Like, I feel like it's a really good one for piping. We did some really pretty piping on that one. Okay. Yeah, really pretty piping. Since we're going to do these two colors together in the same bag, right? I'm assuming. I'm going to put these two smaller bags inside a bigger bag. Is there a way to make that easier? I don't know. Like, I feel like this box wants for it to be a dispenser. Like, I feel like this box is intended for it to be a dispenser, but it's not. It's not a dispenser. You're welcome. You're small little trip into my struggle today. Okay. Just gonna wipe this off. If I had another one of these, I could have just used a clean one, but I have like thin ones. I just don't have like thicker ones right now. Sarah says she likes to use press and seal and then a piping bag. Yeah, where you like put the cling wrap out, put it in there, and then roll it. That's another way to do it. There's actually like a bunch of different ways that you can do it. This is the way I like, because if something goes wrong, I can like take the colors out and like work with them. So like if, say, my pink, when I start to pipe and like I find like my pink is not like wet enough, I can open up the big piping bag that both of these are stuck into, and I can pull this one out and add more rubbing alcohol to it. So that's why I like to keep it separate. But like when I do like rainbow ones, I definitely do it on the shrink wrap, not shrink wrap, plastic wrap. That moment when it like registers, where the word registers, is like amazing. And then do it like that. So, and I'm just gonna add this purple to this pink, because why not? Because it's already started. It's happening. Yeah, I feel like purple and pink is like, I know I've done purple and pink swirls before. I know I have. But it's so pretty. Can't tell me no. Okay, I'm just gonna add some more purple because I want this to be darker. So these would be really cute for like Mother's Day, spring, anything like that. We're gonna add like when we pipe on top. So I could have done these like an orange, brown color, and then it would have looked like the terracotta pot, and then I could have made it look like a planter. So So there's really a lot that you can, directions you can go with that. So this is just one interpretation, and it's just because I had already made those were testing one of the dry bath bomb recipes. So like I just had made them to test one of the dry bath bomb recipes a couple weeks ago or a week ago, something like that, and they were kind of sitting around, so they needed to be used. Usually I have a project in mind like before. I usually have a project in mind before starting something, but I didn't this time. So like before making bath bombs, I usually have a project in mind. Which, yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? You're there with me. Okay, I don't know what we're asking about. What do we have? We have things. Okay, good, cool. Okay. And then if I have extra of this, I can either squeeze it out. Like, that's kind of one of the things about it being cool that it's separate. I could squeeze it out into separate bags, make new things with it. I can hold it like this in these piping bags kind of indefinitely, which helps prevent some of the rubbing alcohol from evaporating, and it makes it a little bit easier to use. So there's that. I could let it dry out all the way and come back later. So that's the cool thing about Wonder Bar, is it's never really wasted. Your ingredients aren't wasted. Just your time. That's all. You're welcome. I like to put things in perspective for you sometimes. No, but really, it's fine. Like, nothing's wasted. Like, you're good. If it doesn't go right for you, then like it's okay. Like, it'll still work out in the long run. So if you fail at Wonder Bar, don't throw it away. Oh my God, that's like one of those things that like kills me. You're killing me, Smalls. That's one of the things that kills me, is when people are like, I'm just gonna throw it all away, and I'm like, no. Like in slow-mo. Okay, I have way more purple than I have pink. Okay, Syrah. It will be. Alright, I'm gonna grab one of these big cotton couplers. And then we're gonna put both these bags in here. I'm gonna go ahead and do purple first because she's big, and then we'll scoochy little pinky down in there. Now, if I had weighed it and separated it out like a good kid, I wouldn't be dealing with the disproportionate where one of my twins has sucked the nutrients out of my other twin. Okay, but sometimes I'm not a good kid. Sometimes I do. I'm a bad example to show you how it's okay. You're welcome. All right, we need a piping tip. Let's start with the big flower tip. Let's see how far we can get with that. And let me move all this stuff out of the way so you guys can see. So just let me put a tip on this, and then I'll reorganize it really quick, and then we'll be ready to go. Rebecca says that she has the hardest time estimating how much you need for embellishments. Yeah, but that's one of the good things about being able to master batch it and reuse it. It's like, if you overestimate, or do you overestimate it, right? Because it feels like you're gonna need a lot more than you do. And also, when you make a batch of Wonder Bar, you're like, this isn't very much. Surely this can't be enough, and then it is enough. So there you go. All right, here we go. Close this. Now I'm just gonna give this another light spritz with rubbing alcohol. Do I need to? I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. And so then we have a flower tip. I'm just gonna get it started. Make sure I have colors on both sides. And then I'm gonna start to make flowers on it. So I think that I'm going to come back after I do these little ones, these little two-tone ones, and I'll probably come back and add like more swirls and stuff like that, because I'm kind of doing these off to the side. And I can do some with pink in the middle, or I can do some with purple in the middle. I can kind of switch. And normally, like if you were doing a cake or something like that, or even soap, you would pipe these out ahead of time, because it makes it a little bit easier to work with them. But with Wonder Bar, you can just pipe it directly on there. Cute. They look like little violets. Are they violets? Are they African violets? Is that what they look like? I feel like they're African violets. I feel like that's a flower that my mom had. My mom has what she calls a brown thumb. So she just can't keep plants alive, you know? So I feel bad for her plants. I've actually like adopted a lot of her plants. I'll like go over to her house and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take this one and then I'm gonna make him feel better. And then I'm gonna bring him back in a couple weeks when he's all better. And then I don't bring it back because that's abuse of a plant, right? I'm just gonna move that because it looks gross on the screen. So like the pink is a little bit dry, right? So if I wanted to, if I was so inclined, I could squeeze all this piping out and, or not, I could do that. I could, yeah. Whew. I could pull this pink out, put it back into my mixer and add some more rubbing alcohol to it if I wanted to make it a little bit wetter. I'm not too fussed about it because I know I'm going to add more elements to it. But like, so if that's something that happened to you, you could do that and it wouldn't be like the end of the world, you know? I've definitely had piping recipes, especially frosting recipes, where it's like real, I don't know, it's real iffy if you can do that later on down the road. So it's one of the really cool things about Wonder Bar is I always kind of rework it at any point. So all right, I have two more little guys, and then I will probably add some vines, maybe add some more leaves, maybe. And then I'll probably, I don't know, I might squeeze this all out and add some more embellishments later if I kind of get in the mood for it. I'm sweating like a sinner in church right now, because my AC was off over the weekend because it was cold. And so like I didn't come in here until like 30 minutes before the live. And I was like, why is it so hot in here? So it's like really hot right now. It's like really hot. Ooh, Kathy says, can I pipe them ahead and use some more Wonder Bar to stick them on or not? Yeah, you can do that. It's gonna be a little bit more like piped bubble frosting is going to be a little bit fragile, so I have done that before. I found it's just easier just to pipe them on directly on, unless it's something like really detailed, like I did daffodils, and so that was like easier to pipe like on the tray and then come back and add stuff to them later. I'm going to come back with this green and let's see, even though it's been sitting here for a hot minute. I cannot get a grip on this. I'm like, get a grip, girl. Okay, hold on. I just have to use two hands. Yeah. Nope, it's dried. Well, it's not dried, but it's like too thick. But squeeze it out, add more rubbing alcohol, It'll be fine. Or, let's see, since I used a coupler, I can actually squeeze out that bit and see if that works. Hold on. Worth the shot. Anne says they look like a pansy. Oh, they do look like a pansy. Yeah, so look, so this is like a little bit, it's firmed up while it's been sitting over here. So instead of breaking my bag and screaming Bloody Mary, bloody murder, instead of, you know, if it's hard to pipe, don't pipe it. Like, if it's hard to pipe, don't pipe it. Don't like I see people piping sometimes and they're like straining, like, oh my God, you're gonna get a hernia. Don't do that. Like, if you're straining or anything like that, put it back into your mixer and it'll be fine. Like, so this, I could just go like this, put it back in the mixer. Julia says you take a heat gun and warm the tip up a touch. I used to do that with, what is it, the bubble fondant? That's like our free recipe, which is like, I don't know, people ask me, they're like, is this a good recipe? And I'm like, I mean, I guess. It's like, I don't want to tell you it's not great because I wrote it, but it's also not like, it definitely cannot hold a candle to Wonder Bar. So it's like, I guess. But that one, I would heat it up. So you can do that. But so like that pink that was a little bit dry, I could just stick it in there together, add some, I don't know, more purple, add some blue to it, and pipe it. So if it's hard to, if it is at all hard to pipe, like, just save yourself a lot of time, energy, struggle, frustration, plus the intense stress of a popped bag. It's stressful. I'm not trying to live that life anymore, okay? And just throw it back in your mixer. Add more rubbing alcohol to it. Add color to it. It'll be good to go. I would have done it with the green, but there's already purple in the bowl, so I didn't. But I'm doing it with the purple and pink just to show you that you can. Full service lives here. It's gonna give you everything you need to make successful bath bombs. So, and then here we go. So the pink was a little bit tough to work with. I threw them in the mixer together. I could have pulled just the pink out, but I didn't. Added some blue to it to make a new kind of a lavender, different kind of purple going on. Throw that into a piping bag, like so. And like I said, I would have done this with the green if my piping bowl didn't already have pink and purple in it. And then you can just, I don't know, add it as like a little accent, right? Add it to the center. Actually, that's like a really good idea. Thanks, guys. I love that idea. Add it to the center. Right? So just don't like feel like if it doesn't go exactly the way you planned, or if the mix gets dry or hard or whatever you have like going on, like, don't let it stress you out. Just like roll with it, you know. And if it does stress you out, just walk away and come back. Like, it's still gonna be here waiting for you, girl. It's not gonna go nowhere. It's just Wonder Bar. It's just Bubble Bar. It's not gonna hurt you or nothing. So I'm just saying, nothing's wasted. You're okay. Okay, cool. I'll pop this in there later when I clean that and when it's not so hot in here. That's pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. For all the ups and downs we've been together. I appreciate it so much. I will include links to the things at the top of this, and if you have any questions, you can keep asking them and I will come back and respond to them, as long as Facebook notifies me. And that's pretty much it for today, guys. Happy making.